For his statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of Iraq.
I thank you, Madam President. I thank you for and value your efforts in convening this emergency session. We thank His Excellency the Secretary General for participating in this meeting and acknowledging the gravity and the repercussions of the current situation and his calls for de-escalation. We thank the Assistant Secretary General as well as the Director General of the IAEA. Madam President, the Security Council meets today in an emergency session, and it bears upon its shoulders the task of maintaining international peace and security at a time when our region is witnessing a dangerous escalation that threatens to destabilize the world and the region. Iraq speaks in a moderate voice and expresses its extreme concern over the accelerating and dangerous developments that the region is witnessing, at the forefront of which is the ongoing military escalation and the ensuing military attack against 3 nuclear reactors in Iran. And we believe in Iraq that this attack is a dangerous escalation and a direct threat to regional and international peace and security. It risks increasing the chances of conflict and the chances of the war expanding as other regional and international parties join the fray with no authorization by the Security Council. This raises serious questions on the respect for the global order that is based on international legitimacy. Madam President, the developments that the region and the current conflict have witnessed is a true test of the rules-based international system that is based on international law and the UN Charter. Unilateral actions that bypass the Security Council weaken the prestige of the international organization and keep the door open to military chaos with unpredictable consequences. Moreover, targeting nuclear facilities, regardless of the disagreements over such facilities, is a dangerous precedent that runs counter to diplomatic efforts that aim to resolve the nuclear file through dialogue and international controls, especially the role of the IAEA in this matter. Iraq confirms that targeting declared nuclear facilities is a dangerous precedent in the non-proliferation regime and the comprehensive safeguards regime, as indicated in the Resolution 487 as well as the IAEA Board of Governance. It also runs counter with Article 4 of the NPT Treaty, which guarantees all member states the right to develop and use nuclear energy for peaceful purposes within a framework of transparency and international oversight. Targeting nuclear facilities could lead to catastrophic radiation leakage that would go beyond the borders of the targeted state and would pose a direct threat to the lives of nearby human beings and the environment, including Iraq. We note the dangerous nature of cross-border radiation leakage and how it affects the countries and peoples of the region. This is a serious danger, and we warn of the dire environmental and human consequences of this. We regret to note that this military development has narrowed the timeline and diplomatic horizon for a potential peaceful resolution. Moreover, it did not give negotiations and political attempts to resolve tensions a chance. It also prevented the IAEA from performing its technical role in accordance with its mandate as stipulated by its statute, which is to verify the nature of nuclear activity. Madam President, our region and over the past decades has witnessed repeated situations of tension and instability. Our peoples have suffered from war and conflict that have brought death upon the people and destruction upon the infrastructure and have obstructed development offers. We find ourselves today before a dangerous crossroads that threatens to ignite a comprehensive and all-out regional war with the ensuing violation of the sovereignty of states through repeated violations of their airspace and territories as neighboring states, with the catastrophic economic impacts of that, as global supply chains are experiencing severe disruptions and the economies of the region are facing major challenges, and as threats continue to endanger maritime passages, which are the lifeline of international trade and the economy of states. Iraq, and based on its geographic location and regional role, is directly impacted by these developments. We have recorded repeated violations of our airspace by the conflicting parties. We consider this a violation of the sovereignty of Iraq and a violation of international law and the United Nations Charter. We renew our firm rejection that Iraq absolutely rejects the use of its territories or airspace to carry out military operations that harm the safety and security of any state in the region, regardless of the party involved or the purposes invoked. In closing, Madam President, Iraq stresses the need to reinstate trust in joint international action. The Security Council must once again be the main forum where crises are handled. We stress the importance of respecting the sovereignty of states whose territories and airspace must not be used in any military confrontation without their consent. Iraq calls for bolstering diplomatic solutions and for activating negotiations and for learning from the lessons of past crises in the region. Iraq calls for the protection of civilians from any military action that affects them directly or indirectly. The peoples of our region are looking to this council and expecting it to shoulder its historic and legal responsibilities at this crucial juncture, so that wisdom and dialogue would prevail, so that we must work together to lay down the foundations of stability and peace in the region, foundations of justice and the respect for international law and international humanitarian law. We call on all parties to avoid further escalation and to return to serious and responsible dialogue in order to maintain the stability of the region and the world. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Iraq for his statement. There are no more names inscribed on the list of speakers.